Hello and a very warm welcome to Lamport Stadium in Toronto. The sun is shining, it's a little breezy, but this is the game that everybody's been waiting for. We've been licking our chops for weeks to see these two go together. Toronto Wolfpack and the Barrow Raiders, both unbeaten at the top of League One and gunning for promotion. Nigel Reid alongside former Bradford, Wigan and Great Britain coach Brian Noble. Isn't it good to feel the sun on your back in the spring in Toronto?
It's totally different to 2 weeks ago, is what I'd say, when the woolly jumpers and the big coats were out, and a fantastic day at the office that day, and wow, we've got the ingredients for a really special occasion today too.
Well, let's talk about this game, because you've got two teams who must be supremely confident. They are on winning runs, and this is kind of the acid test for both. What are you expecting here?
A clash of the titans, nothing else. I think there's been a lot of talk on social media about who can do what to who, and it's game day, it's showtime, so the Wolfpack will be very confident coming here. Obviously, there's the element of travel for the Raiders, but as you say, their confidence is very, very high, and they won't want to relinquish a losing game to anybody, let alone the Wolfpack here.
Now, it's a little blustery, the wind blustering around. I wonder how that might affect the kicking game, Brian, in terms of kicking and catching for the fullbacks.
Well, I think it'll be crucial. It will move around and it will play a part in the game, but when I look at the athletes on both teams, I'm thinking this is a running and a passing game, so I think both teams will be concentrating highly on how their prowess with ball carriers. The Wolfpack now have Ryan Bailey and Fui Moi Moi back into the ranks, and I think our Canadian supporters are going to absolutely love what those two can do.
Let's hear from one or two of the personalities you'll see this afternoon. A little earlier I talked to the Wolfpack scrum half Ryan Briley, looking forward to a very, very big occasion.
Yeah, right, so they've been travelling really well all year, and we understand where we've got a tough test on our hands today, and I say full credit to Barrow. They've been outstanding all year, so we understand what we need to do, and so if we stick to the things we're good at and stick to the process and the structure, it'll give us a really good chance to win the game. So we won't underestimate Barrow. I think they're a really good team, and they deserve to be where they are in the ladder. But I think from our point of view, we're going to concentrate on ourselves and I say make sure we put into practice what we're good at, and yeah, hopefully give the fans something to cheer about, and make it a really good day for Canada Rugby League.
And what about your responsibility? Because you have that engine room mentality. Obviously, you're going to be directing a lot of the play. The kicks is a little bit of a blustery wind. Is that a concern?
Yeah, I suppose you got to take the conditions into account wherever you play, I suppose. And I think if as a professional rugby league player, you got to adapt to the situations. And yeah, it's the conditions I think are great for rugby league. It's nice and sunshine. Hopefully, we can get more fans through the door and make a bit more money. But yeah, like I said, we're really looking forward to it. There's got a group of guys in there who are really enjoying this place, and we're really proud to represent Toronto, and we're privileged and humbled and blessed to be a part of it. And so we have a massive thanks to you guys for giving us the exposure, and hopefully we can give you something to cheer about.
Thanks for your time. All the best, Ryan.
Thank you, mate.
That's Ryan Briley, the Wolfpack scrum half, hugely influential, a couple of tries in his first 2 games, but he has really got to be at the top of his game if Toronto's going to come out on top, you feel?
I do. He's been every bit the player we thought he would be when we signed him from the Huddersfield Giants, and he's certainly every bit the person that we know he is, and he's keen. I saw him earlier, he's a bit nervous, so that's also a good sign.
We'll hear from both coaches, we'll hear also from the Barrow captain before kick-off. Don't go away. Welcome back to Lamport Stadium in Toronto. The sun is shining. Conditions just about perfect for a top-of-the-table clash between the Wolfpack and the Raiders. Brian Noble's still with me. Let's talk about Barrow, because they're no mugs. I mean, they have put up their own standards so far this season, and they're scoring plenty of points as well.
Boy, they're a tough team, and I've scouted them a couple of times as well, and they played really well in the last couple of weeks, irrespective of they got beaten in the Challenge Cup by Leeds, who would probably beat anybody on that kind of form. But I have to say they've got some size, so we're going to see some big boys up front that are going to carry them forward, and they don't lack skill. You're absolutely right. They're a good team.
Let's hear from the Barrow captain, Oliver Wilkes. Let's get the Barrow skipper's players' perspective.
Yeah, we're all focused. We're all ready for a tough challenge. We know it's going to be tough. We've had a long trip. I know that Toronto have had to do that before, but we're a bit limited on resources as well. A few people couldn't get visas and stuff like that, but you can only play the cards you've been dealt. So the guys that are in the squad at the minute, all 17 of them, I'm sure will do a fantastic job today. You know, we're ready to come and challenge Toronto, the full-time professional side, and I'm sure they're going to offer us up a tough contest.
Confidence is so important in any form of sport, and I guess we've got two teams who are very confident of what they can achieve.
Yeah, obviously both sides unbeaten, and we've been putting some pretty impressive scorelines on both of obviously Toronto a few more points, but you know, it's a game of rugby at the end of the day. There's 17 men against 17 men. It's going to be a physical encounter, and hopefully Barrow can come out on top today.
All the best. Thanks for joining us, Oliver.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
It is going to be a physical contest today, but Ollie Wilkes there talking about confidence, and you can name any sport, but if you don't have that confidence and that self-belief, you're going to struggle somewhere down the line, Brian.
Well, they've had it all year, is all I'll say, and irrespective of the last week or so, when allegedly it's not been there, I'm really confident for them that they're going to come up and rock up and have a good performance.
Okay, time to hear from both the coaches. Paul Crary is the Barrow coach, but firstly, here is Paul Rowley of the Toronto Wolfpack.
Yeah, both teams are very familiar with one another, and both teams obviously undefeated, so there's a mouth-watering prospect in itself. So confidence and momentum in sport is huge, and you know, we're at home. It's only our second home game, and obviously we want to continue our run, but unfortunately for us, Barrow have the same intention, so it's going to be an humdinger, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
You're missing a couple of players as a result of what happened here a couple of weeks ago. Liam Kay's missing, obviously one of your leading try scorers. How does that handicap you today, Paul?
Yeah, we've got a couple of injuries too. We've got Lathwaite with the broken neck, Bussy post-operative, Kay and Emmett, and you know the last two, Kay and Emmett. Well, they're their own worst enemies. So we've learned a valuable lesson there, and you know, we won't be going down that road again. So they're 4 starters that won't be in our team today, but it offers an opportunity for somebody else. And ourselves and Barrow have probably got a similar amount of players missing for different reasons, and. But nevertheless, we'll both have 17 very committed players, all going hell for leather to get the 2 points.
All the best. Thanks for your time, Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a tough ask for the players, a part-time group. You know, we feel as though we've been sent here to be fed to the Wolves rather than play the Wolves, you know, with what's gone on in the build-up to the game. But we're looking for the challenge. We're settled a little bit now. The Canadian people have been fantastic, and Canadian Rugby League has been fantastic as well. So, you know, we're pleased with the way we've been treated when we're out here. It's probably the process to get the squad out here, you know, on the short turnaround we've had since the Leeds game.
In the lead-up to the game, you said essentially we're playing with one arm tied behind our back. No excuses, but I mean that demonstrates the challenges that you have putting out a competitive team here.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, some of the boys got up off nights, you know, straight off nights on a bus at 5 a.m. to get here. We've been up for 22 hours straight. You know, there's a game of rugby involved, and there's probably 30 hours where we're up on the way home as well. It's a massive demand for part-time players, especially when we've got a glut of injuries. The visa process, you know, people have been going about the visa process, but it's easy to get a visa. But if you have a little discrepancy, it's very, very difficult, and we've been told up to 3 to 6 months to get the people in. So again, whether we'd applied 2 months ago, we probably wouldn't got some of the players in. We've come here without probably 5 or 6 of our frontline players. We've brought some young kids in, Ryan Johnson and Matty Wild, who acquit themselves well. We've done it time and time again this year when we played the southern teams where we've rested players. Hemel, we won 84 zip with 7 changes, but this is a different kettle of fish with the players this team have got. You know, they're a full-time squad with NRL players. Super League players and top-end Championship players. So the task for us is massive, but again, adversity is going to be strong for us. We're a tight group. We've had a great couple of days up to now. Probably a little bit tired, but we're finding our feet. You know, we've trained really well. The facilities have been brilliant, and we're ready to go. And whatever happens, we'll give it our very best shot.
Wish you every success. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Paul Query, the Barrow coach, with some strong opinions about the visa issues, the challenges facing his team. Essentially, he thinks that the league should be taking responsibility here and sorting out the administration, Brian.
Yeah, but it's game day, and all I'll say about it is you can't open up a new can of players, so he's got to instill and put the belief into the people he's got and focus on them. The Wolfpack are missing 4 or 5 starters in their lineup, so it's a great clash on its own, and I'm confident that he's kind of hidden his real intentions behind the visa issue. You know, clearly it's not ideal, and that will be sorted out. However, they'll be very, very determined today, will Barrow.
Well, it is an evolutionary process because you have the Wolfpack team who are based in Canada, so all visiting teams somewhere down the line need to get, you know, their act together and, you know, cross those T's and dot those I's.
All I will say on that, Nigel, is, you know, Barrow had to be given a fair warning in advance of what was required in relation to the visas, and whether they complied with those, you know, those questions and answers will remain to be seen. I'm not sure that they did. However, it's about the game today, and I tell you what, they're going to get stuck into each other.
Game day it is, as Brian rightly said, and kick-off time is fast approaching. We'll have the lineups, the anthems, and the kick-off very soon. Don't go away. One, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Can I hear myself? 1, 1, or am I off mic again? 1, 2.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Actually, I can only just about hear you for some reason.
I've got a big enough gob.
Yeah, I know. 1, 2, 1, 2. You just check our mics. 1, 2, 3. I can hear myself.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Balance, 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 balance in the top of my head.
Well, even with the bank holiday, I think it's a bigger crowd than last week.
It is a bank holiday. It's the Victoria Day weekend. Did you know that?
Yes.
Oh, you did? You've been doing your homework?
I've been reading about it.
Have you? Yeah. Victoria Day weekend, which we do in Canada, which we don't do in the UK.
No.
That makes sense, right?
And is it Victoria the Queen Victoria?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. But we still got Elizabeth, you see. We still have to tip our fall up to that.
Sorry, say again. Closer to the mic or turn your volume up so as I can hear the instructions. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. If you have the chance just to talk back to me just on some page, and then I'll tell you back. Sure. Just give me a big fat cue when you want me to start speaking up. One or two white, fluffy clouds, but the weather has cooperated on this Victoria Day weekend at Lamport Stadium in Toronto. The locals would like you to know they call it the Den. It is the top of the table clash between the Toronto Wolfpack and the Barrow Raiders. They have both played 7 games. They have both won 7 games. So something's got to give this afternoon. That man in the centre of your picture, Fui Fui Moi Moi, I think Brian might have something to say about it.
Yeah, he's been missing for a couple of weeks and made his comeback last week. He was bought to be a crowd pleaser and a box office hit over here. When those locks get flowing, and there's no secret to what he does. He runs straight and hard, he runs north to south, and he scatters the pigeons. So that's what we're expecting tonight as well. His partner in crime in the team also been missing. They've just got themselves over to Canada. Is Ryan Bailey, of course, a highly decorated Super League winner. And so he too has that element of bad boy image about him. And there's Captain Craig Hall, who clearly leads this pack.
We'll play at centre today, Craig Hall, as QLT returns at fullback as we welcome the Barrow Raiders. They are missing a number of players, as you heard from their coach Paul Crary, but as you yourself have said, Brian, it is game time, and it is important that the 17 players that are on the field feel that confidence, feel that togetherness, that they can actually put up a good fight here.
Well, Paul's a great football man. Paul Crary is a great football man, and he'll have this team as ready as it possibly can be. And irrespective of their non-starters, it's about who's out there. And if he's given them enough belief and a decent game plan to get them around this field against this formidable Wolfpack, then we're in for a good day.
One of these teams is going to leave with a blemished record, but for the time being, both are on winning runs indeed. Barrow had won 13 in a row until they came up against the Rhinos in the Challenge Cup. Very soon, time for the national anthems of Britain and Canada.
Here to perform the anthems, please welcome Elizabeth Santos.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
The formalities are just about complete. Fui, fui, moi, moi, and Ryan Bailey. You don't want them running at you. Here is the Toronto Wolfpack team. Liam Kay is suspended, so Wheeler plays on the left wing, Johnny Panel on the right. Watch out for Brierley and Wallace, the halfback pairing, and then Moi, Sidlow and Bessick. It's a pretty formidable lineup.
Yeah, it's a great lineup. Plenty of strikes still, and Penkovic to come off the bench to add his particularly then, and the three big blokes, Fleming, Pick and Crossley, to add a bit of beef to the Wolfpack go forward.
Our referee is John McMullen, who gets us underway. Toronto Wolfpack in white jerseys and black shorts, playing from right to left, away from Lake Ontario, if you're familiar with the environs of Lamport Stadium, or the Den, bordered on the north side by King Street. We will no doubt see some streetcars parading their way down there. So 14 games, 14 wins, 2 unblemished records, proudly shared by the Wolfpack and the Raiders at the top of Kingstone Press League 1. But by day's end, only one perfect record will remain intact. Something has got to give here. Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your money on?
Well, I think the Wolfpack will have too much today, maybe by 20 points, but early indications there from Fui Moi Moi that he's trying to make his mark on this blue jersey team and set the standards. But Barrow, great opening set, got themselves out the half and found a terrific kick.
Both teams missing key players, as we've heard in the build-up to this game. Liam Kay, the Wolfpack leading scorer, out with a 1-game suspension. Jake Emmett, a 2-game ban for his part in that fracas against Oxford a couple of weeks ago. And visa issues affecting the Raiders. There's no Jamie Dallimore, no Dan Toll, no Martin Aspinall, Danny Morrow, all left back in the UK. But they will make the best of what they can, as it's picked up by Ryan Brierley. And the kick ahead. And down goes Ryan Fieldhouse, close to his own goal line.
Well, he manufactured that kick, Brierley, because he had to. It was a scruffy end to the set from the Wolfpack. Wallace got caught in and around the ruck, and a few scruffy passes, and he manufactured a kick and got himself a great finish. Oh, there goes Fui, slightly high.
Sidlow and Bailey getting involved with Jarrett Stack. No love lost in the opening moments, and you wouldn't expect there to be, Brian.
Give no quarter, ask no quarter. I think some Shakespearean bloke said something like that, didn't he? And that will be absolutely applicable today. A couple of high shots there from Fui particularly, too. Was a penalty, right call. Got to bend your backs, bend your equipment, and make sure that your tackles are legal.
So penalty to Barrow as they approach halfway, and they'll be looking to settle themselves down quickly, get through those sets of 6, get into opposition territory, and let the Wolfpack know that this isn't going to be another one-sided victory, that they're really going to have to work for the win, whichever way it goes.
Well, get the hoo-ha out of the way, Nigel, because this Barrow team will be really ready. A big error there from the boy.
Knocked on by Joe Bullock.
Yeah. Well, a bit of push and shove and a bit of hoo-ha. It's important both teams don't get distracted here.
Well, we heard Paul Rowley say before the game that the 2 players who were suspended were their own worst enemies. It was a lesson they've learned, and they won't get involved in that sort of thing again.
Well, it was daft. They got distracted, and it wasn't in the keeping of the game all the time, and so that's the challenge. Is you've just got to stay focused, understand it's a great game of footy. You can hurt each other legally.
Well, the referee is calling over the 2 captains, Ollie Wilkes and Craig Hall.
We've had foul language being used, not directed at anybody. I need you to talk to your teams to sort it out, or I will do.
Just a check on the Barrow Raiders team, and watch out for Lewis Charnock there, number 7 in the halfbacks. He certainly will be an influence as far as the Raiders are concerned.
Yeah, he's a good player. Been playing well all year. A scruffy start to the set there from the Wolfpack, gives Barrow great field position.
Not a long time, but on they go, and into Wolfpack territory. Now, can they hold it for the full 6 tackles? You often find on tackle 5, the kick for position will come into effect as Mossop goes left. Bailey involved with the tackle. The referee's whistle.
Too long there. You've got to listen to the calls, fellas.
A penalty for Barrow here. Great field position, and they're going for goal. That's a bit of a surprise. You think they try and run this Wolfpack defence around a little bit and see what they've got to offer. But a scruffy start from the Wolfpack, you have to say. They've given a couple of penalties away and dropped the ball, given Barrow field position, and they've fully exploited that field position with a kick at goal now. And Charnock, the architects in chief.
Yeah, I guess they want to get some points on the board, feel themselves into the game. And as you say, they are taking the option of the penalty shot, which Lewis Charnock should have no problems with. He's just to the left of the post, but this shouldn't be a problem for him. There was a pretty blustery wind earlier in the day, but that's dropped down significantly in the last hour or so. But Charnock with a chance to put the Raiders ahead. And the kick is good. And the Raiders are first on the ball.
Well, I think that's part of their methodology today. I think Coach Cleary has decided that he'll manage the game, he'll plan the game, he might kick for sidelines to slow the game down, play a measured game and be precise in everything they do. And that's up to the Wolfpack to try and break that mould and break that game plan.
Lewis Charnock, one of the top try scorers for the Raiders this season, 12 tries so far. In a recent game against Keighley, he got 4 tries and 8 goals. So he has no problem getting across the goal line or from in front of the sticks. He's certainly one to watch.
Move! Hold! Go!
And so Barrow start again from deep inside their own half of the field. Bailey and Moy Moy. And Rich Whiting there as well on the tackle. Trying to break down the centre. This time it's Andrew Dixon. Got to get off once the tackle has been made. You can't hold your opponent down. So goes Joe Bullock again. This time does hold on to the ball. Over halfway, but they're running shorter tackles. Might see the kick this time. Nathan Mossop at the play the ball. There's the kick. Now, is there a swirling wing? QLT underneath it, does well.
Tackled in the air, that's a penalty, not allowed to do that. It was a great kick, chased the kick really well, but Stack guilty of, just for our Canadian viewers, our North American viewers, you're not allowed to tackle a person in the air that's trying to catch the ball, and we quite clearly see there, he gathered him up to Jared Stack in the air.
Smile from QLT, Quentin Laulu Togagai. That's why everybody calls him QLT.
That's easy for you to say now.
I've been practicing it for about 3 weeks. So if I can't get it right by now, it's a bad job. Sidley over halfway. That's for the Wolfpack. Referee's whistle. It's going to be a penalty for the Wolfpack.
Yep, Bullock playing around too much of the play the ball there. Sidlow had run the right to play the ball quickly because of his landing position. And Joe Bullock had his hands all over him.
Have another look. There you go. Got to get up, got to get out of the way. Once you've made that tackle, or the referee will penalise you.
And the real boys, yellow line, good. On his foot.
Bob Bezic gets us underway again. Finds Blake Wallace, then Sidlow and Bailey trying to get those legs pumping for the Wolfpack. Bezic goes right. Fui, Moy Moy. The crowd rising.
Lights up when he carries the ball.
Doesn't it ever?
Yeah. Square at marker, so penalty to the Wolfpack. Smart play from Bezic. After the Moy carrying a quick play the ball, it's really hard for the defenders to get square and onside. So play on the Wolfpack team is the decision they're making.
Fui, Moy finds Sidlow. There's room on the left-hand side. Dixon is in attendance. Wallace there as well. Bezic at the play of the ball. Comes through. Fui, Moy trying to bundle his way through. Just a yard or so short of the Barrow try line. Bezic, plenty of tackles to go. They're going right this time. Johnny Pownall will be out there if they can find him. Doesn't get as far as Pownall this time, the right winger.
Good defence from Barrow, scrambled across, covered the inside play and swamped the Wolfpack attack.
Brian Lee offloads to Bailey. 4 tackles gone. Now, what's the referee given here?
Yeah, wasn't clean in the ruck is what the referee is saying, so another penalty. They'll play on again here with the Wolfpack. Constant pressure here, they're defending really well, Barrow, to keep them out.
Fui, Moy, get those legs pumping again. 3 metres short, the giant Samoan. Now, can he get through? Bezic thought about going himself. They go left this time.
3 on your leg. Hold. Stand the play.
3-4 metres short of the Barrow try line. Wallace is through. Wallace is down. It's the first try of the afternoon for the Wolfpack, and they respond to the penalty with the first try. It's Blake Wallace over.
Well, he's a runner, is Blake Wallace, and he sees an opportunity here. Gets the ball, QLT clears her up, goes off his right foot, picks out the boy Moss up in defence, and literally just drags him over with his strength and his speed. On the back of a lot of pressure, a couple of penalties that this Barrow team had given away, and Blake Wallace does what he does best, runs and scores a try.
From Wollongong, New South Wales, Blake Wallace, as the She-Wolves get their groove on in celebration of Toronto's first score of the afternoon at the Den. They lead 4-2, and Craig Hall with the chance to add a couple more. This should be meat and drink. This one might disappear into King Street. Hall makes no mistake, and indeed almost disappears out of the stadium. It's 6-2 to the Wolfpack.
Make sure you're listening, Craig, yeah?
Well, I think we had Hall in the centre on the lineup. He's the kicker there clearly, but he'll be playing on the wing this afternoon. Boy Worthington on his inside. A bit too much ball they gave them there, Barrow, with the penalties, and with people like Moy and Bailey, we saw their physical prowess, and Sidlow as well. It's just pressure, and the dam broke in the end with Wallace taking the advantage.
Well, that'll certainly make Paul Rowley and his staff feel better. They've got under the another high one for QLT, but sure handling from the New Zealand fullback.
10 metres. Hold.
Have they lost it? Is that what the referee was saying?
Yeah, he's saying he lost the ball cold.
So it's going to be a scrum down, and it's going to be head and feed.
Great chance
for Barrow.
Yeah, great chance for them to respond.
The Raiders will know that they're that close. You can see the upright right behind them. And generally in rugby league they are uncontested scrums, and so Barrow will get the ball. Now, can they work it right? They've got 6 tackles to get there. Charnock goes to ground under the attentions of Whiting. Ryan Johnston for the youngster Tom Loxham. Back for Mossop. Ollie Wilkes, the captain, held up by Fui Moy among others. A ball, says the referee, and so they do. Out to Ryan Johnston, and they're coming right. Then a mistake, knocked forward.
Well, he picked his pocket there at Hall. He called the play. Look, Charnock was trying to go over the top to find his winger, and he couldn't drag the ball in, Craig Hall. Otherwise, it would have been a foot race to see what would have happened. But another set of 6 here, and we've seen that constant pressure on anybody's try line generally leads to points. Here's the pass play over the top. Was Fieldhouse trying to clear Hall, and Hall took the gamble on picking the ball out of the air.
He did. He was clearly frustrated, as you saw, that he couldn't hang on to it, knocked it on, and so Barrow again in the ascendancy. In the 14th minute, Declan Hume looking to make some hard yards as Barrow close in on the Wolfpack try line. Jared Stack now. Fui Moy wrestles him to the ground. Mossop at the play of the ball. They're going left. Can they find a chink in the armour? Very nearly. That was Fleming, Chris Fleming. They're that close. Can they force the score? Wilkes took Bailey and Moy to stop him. Bezic is also there.
They've got some numbers out here if they find the correct pass.
Going right.
Good tackle.
Down goes Hume.
Come in.
They're very close indeed. Can they get over? Right on the try line.
Wow. Great attack from Barrow, putting pressure on this Wolfpack team, but a measure of a team is not just how they play with the ball, it's how they bend their backs on their own try line. And 2 sets and 3 sets on their own line now.
Some stout defence from the Wolfpack. That's how close they were But the turnover and the Wolfpack start again just about from their own goal line.
Move! Hold your line! Hold! Stop!
Sidlow, Bezic, Bailey trying to barrel his way through. Held up by Wilkes and Fleming. Brierley offloads. And the ball is ripped free and perhaps knocked on. It has gone forward, but it's a Wolfpack ball, says Mr. McMullen.
Well, just for our viewers that are watching there, he's adjudicated that the Barrow defender stripped the ball, which means it's a knock-on from the Barrow player. So it will be a head and feet to the Wolfpack team. We'll see here, Wheeler gets the ball. The Barrow player strips the ball, adjudicates that that's gone forward. Whether you make your mind up or not, that it did go forward, the referee said it did.
So 6 more for the Wolfpack. Another whistle. It's been a bit bitty. High tackle is the decision that time. So yet another penalty for the Wolfpack. Brierley kicks for position over halfway and well into Barrow territory.
On his foot.
Moy. Look, 4 of them swarming around him.
10 metres. Hold.
Bezic at the play of the ball. Will he go left? Goes right for Bailey. Wilkes brings him
10
down.
metres right. Play it.
Brierley offloads to QLT.
3.
Good short side, little player there, trying to expose a little bit of a space there.
Bob Bezic. That's clever for Bailey. He's close. He's over.
He's over.
Ryan Bailey on his home debut gets a second try for the Wolfpack.
Oh, that smart play from Bezic. Sees a scattered rather than shattered defence from the Barrow team. Ryan Bailey picks his legs up, lifts his knees. Bezic drops him back on the inside and picks out the lazy Barrow defender, which I think was Bullock, and he's just too big, too strong from there. Look at that. Get that into you and splashes himself over the line.
Using all his strength and all his experience, 6 Super League titles under his belt. A legend in Leeds, and he's fast becoming well known in Toronto. Ryan Bailey diving over, and Craig Hall again right in front of the sticks. Should be just kicking practice for the Wolfpack captain, but they all have to be kicked. No problem at all. And all of a sudden, Brian, the Wolfpack have a 10-point lead.
Well, it's been hard earned as well. Barrow have been great in their resilience. They couldn't quite prize open the Wolfpack line, or were very close to it, weren't they? But then the Wolfpack get an opportunity at the other end, and the 2-score game.
They were inches away from crossing the Wolfpack try line. But as you say, they find themselves 2 scores behind now. Charnock restarts. High ball taken comfortably again by QLT, and it's worth reiterating if you're just joining us, it is a pleasant afternoon, but there is a slightly swirling easterly wind coming off the lakeshore. It has abated somewhat in the last hour or so, but it's something we certainly talked about pre-game in terms of kicking, not just the conversions but also those high kicks, which might cause havoc for 1 or 2 less experienced fullbacks. Adam Sidlow says, let me get up and get on with it. Eventually they do. Offloading to Wallace. Could be through again here. Blake Wallace. Ball's gone to ground.
Just lost in the tackle.
Yeah, lost it, says the referee. He spotted it.
Well, there were worrying signs there for Barrow. They were playing the ball quickly with the Toronto Wolfpack team and finding some movement. Pownell was coming in, finding a pass play, exploiting that element maybe of tiredness in and around the ruck for Barrow, but they hang on to the last play. Bezic hits Wallace. Wallace had taken off and adjudicated they lost the ball here. There you see, dropped it, and so Barrow head and feed and relieves the pressure for them. But that came from their own line, started with QLT at one end of the field, and Barrow did a good job in the end to disrupt that last play.
Wallace already on the scoreboard, having touchdown for Wolfpack's opening try of the day. He looks really in the mood, doesn't he?
He does.
Time's on, let's go, boys!
Chance then for Barrow to clear their lines. Referee not happy.
No, guys, let's sort it. Right, your head's got to be in the scrum, please.
Let's do it again. Ball barely went into the scrum. I think that was the point the referee was making.
Whilst they're uncontested as such, Nigel, you've still got to look clean and pretty and aesthetic. Well, the referee blows his chalk and blows the pee out of his whistle.
So Barrow starting from the deep inside their own half. Ryan Fieldhouse trying to get those legs pumping.
Good player, Fieldhouse. We're mindful of him. Oh, that's a good tackle.
Has a couple of hat-tricks so far this season, Ryan Fieldhouse, against South Wales and against the Hemel Stags as well. Used to play for Halifax back in the day.
Hold your line. Go.
Tom Walker offloads to Joe Bullock. He's been fully involved so far.
He's had a good season so far. Been getting rave reviews for the Barrow team, and that's why that kind of carry.
Outside.
The kick ahead.
Okay.
Only as far as QLT. Now, what can he do? Almost up to, well, I was going to say almost up to halfway before he got tackled, but he's not quite that far. He's 10, 15 metres short.
Shoot! Move! 10 metres! Go! Knock on.
Oh, now it's knocked on. It's untidy again from the Wolfpack. And that's something that both teams have been guilty of in this opening 21 minutes, Brian.
Yeah, I think the high expectation of what people can do to each other and that nervous energy wanting to do well. Both teams on top of themselves in relation. Need to calm down, get their skill in order. Here we see it's a clean drop from Ryan Bailey.
Not sure it wasn't a forward pass as well, had he managed to catch it, but it matters not because Bailey couldn't gather it, so it's another scrum down. And Lewis Charnock will feed the scrum. Picked up by Nathan Mossop.
Surrender! Stand one! Hold! Go! Two!
Forward they come again with Tom Walker. Here's Bullock again.
Three!
He's not scared, is he, Bullock?
Well, he's got a surname to suit his style of play, hasn't he? This is James Jordan, who we didn't know whether we'd see on the field. I was talking to Paul Crary before the game, and he said we may only have 3 on the interchange because Jordan's been carrying a shoulder injury, but he obviously wanted to get out there. And this is Ryan Johnston. Penalty for Barrow.
Oh, offside. Besic was clearly offside. Not square, not 10 metres on his retreat. Found a smart kick, Johnson.
A little sloppy again from the Wolfpack. Those are the sort of things that drive coaches mad. Now, can they find a way through? Walker trying to get there. It's being stopped by a combination of 4. There's Sidlow and Whiting there, but they're very close again, Barrow. Back to Johnston. In is Steve Crossley, that man mountain. 6'5", 254 pounds, Crossley.
Bit of space here for the Barrow team. Well closed down by the left side of the Wolfpack defence and probing away here, Barrow, looking for that opening.
Still only 5-10 metres short. Charnock trying to weave his way past Crossley.
Well, little man on big man there, nearly exposed him, but Crossley grabbed him by the shirt tails.
Mossop goes left. 5 tackles gone. What will they do with the last one? Maybe a little grubber kick. Or they're going to try and run it. They're going to turn it over. That's what they're going to do.
Well, they've bent their backs well again there, the Wolfpack. Maybe a little bit more dexterity required from this Barrow team, but they'll be happy at the field position that they've had and where they're at.
So Wolfpack start from inside their own 10. A little surprised they didn't kick there, something a little bit creative to try and get somebody in behind.
Well, I think they're happy to be at that end of the field, this part of the game, you know. I think they're trying to play the field position rules and keep the Wolfpack at their own end of the field. And yes, absolutely, they're going to have to do something to manufacture a try-scoring play for themselves.
Besic almost up to halfway for the Wolfpack. Into opposition territory.
You're offside there, Louis.
Brierley with a little kick ahead. Now, where is this going to bounce?
That's a great
in goal.
Oh.
And the referee, it's a high tackle again. It's not the first time we've seen that.
Yeah, It was a great kick from Briley. He manufactured the kick on the spot.
Barrow, onside, please.
And a poor effort from Wallace. He clipped him round the melon, clipped him round the pumpkin, so he'll have a sore lip tomorrow, and that's absolutely a right penalty.
He's going to have a bright cheek after that one.
I don't think it was malicious in that respect. I just thought it was loose.
But the net result, Brian, is another penalty.
And a rest for Barrow. So that they're manufacturing this stop-start kind of situation, but that's on the back of what Wallace did, not on the back of what Barrow did.
On his foot, on his foot.
So 6 more for Barrow from what? About 15 metres out from their own sticks. Down goes Jarrett Stack.
Hold, go.
He's enjoying the occasion, as I'm sure all the Barrow players are as well.
10 metres.
And those of you watching back in Britain, in Cumbria, hope you're enjoying what is turning out to be a feisty encounter between the top two in Kingstone Press League One. The Toronto Wolfpack in whites, the Raiders in blue. As Andrew Dawson tries to make some hard yards for the Cumbrians. Ashall feeds Walker, stopped by a combination of Sidlow and Whiting, and Dan Fleming getting involved as well on the interchange, the number 10 for the Wolfpack. Kick ahead here, picked up by QLT. And now out to the right-hand side. First chance really for Johnny Pownell to run, but they crowded him out pretty quickly.
They scrambled real hard there, Barrow on the kick. The bit of kick pressure on the kicker Johnston and got it away. QLT juggled, trying to release Pownell. So we're back into the rucking situation of trying to get forward.
It's interesting, you know, Liam Kay, we know, is suspended, so not part of this. He usually plays left wing, Johnny Pownell on the right wing, and we haven't seen much of Pownell so far in this game. Maybe that's part of the Barrow tactic, Brian.
Well,
to try and keep it more congested in the centre.
10 metres.
I still think they want to manufacture a game, and here's a kick from Briley.
Give him 10, give him 10. Give him 10.
Fieldhouse underneath it, catches it, right underneath his post.
Done a good job there, Ryan Fieldhouse, because right under his sticks, he'd want to barrel him into the in goal if you're a Wolfpack player, but he did well.
Stay out.
Here they come forward again, only as far as Crossley, and then Sidlow completes the job.
A good run from Ashall, wasn't it? Just fresh off the bench.
10 metres.
Mind you, if you're new to the game, it is 6 tackles per set. You want to get as far up the field as you can with those 6 tackles. So 5 tackles now gone in this set for Barrow. They'll probably kick this time for field position. They do. Where has that gone? Out of play.
Gone out and down to touch, so it'll be a scrum to the Wolfpack. Managing the game well, Barrow. Even though they're a couple of scores behind, they'll be fairly pleased with what they're doing at the moment, Nigel.
28 minutes gone. Toronto lead by 2 tries to that Charnock penalty. Wallace and Bailey crossing for the Wolfpack. As the very welcome side of coffee arrives in the broadcast booth. I'm sure we have somebody to thank for that. We'll get round to that in a moment. Pownell on that right-hand side, again, looking to use those powerful fast legs. Captain Craig Hall goes down. That's the second tackle. Pownell at dummy half. Wheeler looks to come inside, but he's boxed off by 3 or 4 of them.
Scruffy from the Wolfpack. It was a clear.
Wallace
ball, and
Dixon might be away
from the break.
Dixon
is outside to finish into the corner.
No one's going to catch QLT. He's over for try number 3.
Well, that was Wallace in the making, Dixon in the breaking, and QLT in the breaking of the Barrow hearts there, because it was a great short ball from Wallace. Dixon keeps his legs, pumps him, breaks the talent. QLT on his shoulder, but he has the easier of the jobs, and great score from the Toronto Wolfpack.
Wolfpack turning defense into offense very quickly in the blink of an eye. QLT needed no invitation Little kick ahead made all the difference. Clever, creative play by the Wolfpack, and they're up by 3 scores.
Well, they're having to be patient here because I think Barrow going all right. You know, but there's a missed tackle and a couple of missed tackles that's caused the problems for this Barrow team, because maybe the physical prowess of the Wolfpack in and around the middle. Moy, Bailey, Crossley, there's some big boys out there. Sidlow pounding away, and then go to the fringes with Wallace on that occasion, and Dixon the back rower.
Craig Hall, perfect so far today.
Yep.
No problem again as the flags are raised at the King Street end of the Den.
Greg, keep them listening and being smart.
And it's 18-2 in favour of the Wolfpack.
Keep them being
The
smart.
clash of the Titans, as Brian Noble told you at the top of the show. 2 undefeated teams. And I would imagine with half an hour gone, Paul Rowley, the Wolfpack coach, must be pretty happy with what he's seeing.
Well, you have to be patient. They're a good team, Barrow, and clearly they've talked about the dynamics of their challenge, and they've gone about it in a certain way. So it's up to the Wolfpack to break them down. It's as simple as that.
Charnock gets us underway again. Not much distance on that kick. Maybe they're trying to get it, but QLT, who was just crossing the goal line 70 yards away, is back doing what he does best. His handling's been safe and secure so far today.
Yeah, he's been good. They have a few trick kicks up their sleeve, the Barrow, from kickoffs and restarts, so you've got to be on your mettle, you've got to be aware of what they're going to do, and QLT was there.
Music down, carried on by Sean Penkovic, honours the interchange, 1 of 4 replacements allowed, and a penalty coming for the Wolfpack just in their own half of the field.
Yeah, I think Ashaw gave him a facial on the ground there. I think he had his hands over his mush.
Let's have another look.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's a little bit unnecessary, but the referee spotted it.
Keep working. On his foot.
There is that fine line, Brian, isn't there, between aggression and crossing the line. You know, allowing players and opponents to know you're in the game. But you don't want to cross that line and make the referee give penalties away.
Here's a break, here's a try. If he gets on the outline, they're here. That's a try. That's a great little move from the Wolfpack. Releasing Dixon again on an outline this time. So once he'd made the break, he went off his right foot and went outways away from Ryan Fieldhouse. But it's Penkovic at the line, uses Moymo for Wallace onto Dixon, and momentum takes him over the line for another Wolfpack score. Great finish, Andrew Dixon.
22-2, and suddenly the gap is growing quickly and sizably in favour of the Toronto Wolfpack, who have been averaging 59 points per game in league play so far through these first 7 games, and at this current rate of ascent they're certainly on course to maintain that sort of momentum. Hall again, slightly wider, but shouldn't be a problem, right between the sticks. The flags are raised, and it's a 22-point lead with 7 minutes to go to half-time.
Well, it's Richard Whiting who crashes into the line that gets the quick play. The ball allows the Wolfpack. John Penkovic takes on afterwards, using the foils of Moy and Wallace finds Dixon on the fly and then runs an outline. So he goes through the line and finds himself an outline.
Come on, fellas.
Dixon's 5th try of the season. So he certainly knows where the try line is. He's much more than just a big body in the Wolfpack forwards. Given the chance, he's got pace, he's got strength, and we saw it all there. Now the wind again has made that awkward. It's picked up by Whiting.
Whiting on the fly on the bounce ball. Got somebody on his
inside for Wheeler. Wheeler could go all the way here. Just stopped on the line as he got it down.
I think that's a try. I think he's got that down.
Well, they think so too. Referee says it is. And right from the kickoff, the Wolfpack are in again. It's Gary Wheeler. And it's 28-2.
Well, the short kickoff backfired for the Barrow team there. It's from a kickoff. They wanted the ball back. They nearly got the ball back. Richard Whiting takes it on the fly and takes off, but he's running. He's got Gary Wheeler on his inside. Now it's just a foot race. It's if you can get there. Fieldhouse doesn't make it. Momentum takes off the line. rolls over the line and splashes the ball over.
Wheeler did really well to get that down in control, because you have to cross the line and be in control. Watch, he rolls there and manages to have control with that outstretched left hand, which allowed the referee to award the try. He actually had QLT inside him, which might have been the more sensible pass, but he had the confidence to go himself.
Well, once you back yourself, you've got to get there. It's as simple as that.
Hall again, yet another successful conversion from the Wolfpack captain, and 30 points to 2. And this is fast becoming a bit of a mountain to climb as far as the Raiders are concerned, Brian.
Well, there's an element of fortune there for the Wolfpack, because it was a great kickoff. If they'd have got the ball back, they would have had some decent field position, but because of the bounce of the ball and the fact that Richard Whitey was on the fly, it worked out for the Wolfpack.
Well, I'm going to suggest that Lewis Charnock probably won't try that tactic again. He doesn't. It's a lot more of a flat kick and straight down the throat of Wallace.
Hall down on the fly. Well, he's got players on his inside playing it out.
Could be going
he's backing himself here. He's just going to go himself. He's just going to take off. He's going to go.
He's going to go. Touches it
He's going to pick it up hard. Did he knock it on?
Worthington picks it up. Is he down? Worthington thinks he scored, waiting for the referee. And Greg Worthington is in, and the tries are coming thick and fast for the Wolfpack.
Well, that's 3 back-to-backs. And they get it from the kick-off, and they've exposed a little bit of a flaw there in the kick-off shape of this Barrow team, so they lie to the middle, and then he comes outside as Wallace finds a long ball to Hall, and he's just too quick. He's gone. He's down the sideline. You think he's going to use the inside man. No, he doesn't. I'm just going to set field out on as well. Keeps going, gets run down in the end, and it's just a pick-up for Worthington, and slams the ball over the line. Well, this game has changed in the space of 4 minutes. 3 tries, 4 minutes, showing the prowess and the speed of this exciting Wolfpack team, and unfortunately for Barrow, being caught on a couple of kick-off situations that they wouldn't want to be caught in.
Worthington, Wheeler, Dixon, QLT have all crossed, as you see one of those famous streetcars parading down King Street to the north of the stadium. Craig Hall is focused on the sticks in front of him and is perfect once again. He's money with those kicks from just about anywhere on the field, the Toronto captain, and it's 36-2 with 3 minutes to half-time.
Well, you'd say it's a little bit unfair on this Barrow team, because they were certainly very good for the first 20 minutes, but they just haven't touched the ball since, have they? It's been all white shirts flooding down the field.
Well, we've seen the last 2 kickoffs have come back at them with interest. So what sort of tactic would you use now as the Raiders find themselves kicking off again?
Well, I don't think they'll kick it back towards their own sticks, so they're still it's going to go 10 metres, so they'll be controlled. They just need to get their control kick chase, and there you go, along to the other side. It's moving around. That's a great kick-off, because the ball will bounce awkwardly there with the way it was kicked.
Riley picks it off, offloads to Fleming. And finally, Barrow have a chance to catch up and make those tackles and make the Wolfpack work for their yards. Or their meters, I should say. Meters.
Well, the issue that
Bezic.
Whistle's gone.
He stopped to defend to get into him.
Well, he's seen an obstruction, that Moymoy's obstructed a defender getting to the boy Bezic on the run, and so that adjudicator there, she's a bit of relief here for Barrow with the penalty, and that they were playing the ball too quickly, the Toronto Wolfpacks. That's the issue. So he's saying Moymoy, I don't know which particular defender he impeded, but the referee said that's his decision, and he's given that.
So just over 20 metres away from the Toronto try line. Barrow, well, you know what they need badly? They need some sort of confidence-boosting score before half-time, just to give them some belief they've got something to play for in the next 40 minutes. So if they could get to that line and breach that Wolfpack try line for the first time in the closing minutes of this first half, Jordan doing his best. Take him down. It would do them the world of good, and it might make Paul Crary's half-time talk just a little bit easier.
Well, they're going to have to be good, because the Wolfpack are in the mood to defend as well, which is a good carry there from the
Tom Walker.
And see if they can price something here. There's another penalty.
Lying on.
Too long,
he says, the referee. So 6 more coming up for Barrow, and this might be a real chance for them to get across the whitewash and to get a try in the books this side of the interval.
Going in from the start. Going in from the start and playing.
That's another penalty, so 3 on the bounce here.
Once again, indiscipline costing the Wolfpack here. So Barrow have a real chance to decide, be creative, and maybe they can get across. Walker to within 3 meters of that Toronto line. Ashall with the play the ball, but they've lost it. Now, is that a forward pass? It is a forward pass.
Come back here for the first one.
And mistakes abounding, Brian, in the closing seconds of this first half.
Well, young boy Cresswell dropped the ball, but under a little bit of pressure from the defensive line of the Wolfpack from their own line. So you're going to have to be good to cross this the white shirt stripe today.
Head and feed, Blake Wallace, the Wolfpack, Brierley, and it's behind QLT, finds Johnny Powell, but it's all very untidy in the closing moments of this first half at Lamport Stadium, at the Den, as the fans like to call it.
Well, QLT nearly skipped on the outside of a Barrow defender there, finds the offload, finds another
QLT,
here he got himself past, should have passed the ball.
He does pass it to Bezic,
gets it to him.
Bezic might score himself. He's got on the outside, I think it's Brierley, and it is another try. And from one end to the other, big smile for Ryan Brierley, because really Barrow should have been in at the other end, but they misplayed it, and they were punished to the full extent by the Toronto Wolfpack.
Well, that was down to QLT. He'd done the skipping and the jumping, and here he goes. The big man's gone. Big speed, should have passed it, didn't. Passes then, gets Bezic involved in the play. Ryan Brierley's hovering on the outside, and the simple 2-on-1, but QLT and Moi open up the floodgates once again. Look at him go, the big man, he's gone. Couldn't keep up with him.
37 years young. I mean, talk about an athlete, Brian.
Yeah, he can play.
He's still a hero in Australia. Spent all those years in the NRL with the Parramatta Eels. And now we're fortunate to see him playing for the Toronto Wolfpack. We're fortunate to see him play live in Canada. He's a real crowd pleaser, but he can really play.
Oh, he's box office. That's what he
really is.
And you've got to be on your game. And he was nicknamed the car crash at one point in Australia for the Eels, and you can see why. He's just reckless in everything he does.
And here comes, expressionless, but presumably a satisfied coach, Paul Rowley, making his way down to the touchline and around to the dressing rooms as Mr. McMullen blows for half-time. And after a fairly even first 20 minutes, Toronto Wolfpack have asserted their authority in some fashion against the Barrow Raiders and lead at the break, Brian, by 40 points to 2.
And is it an unfair scoreline? No, you have to say not, because of the prowess of the Wolfpack and their physical challenge and the fact that their skill has been high. But you think Barrow would have been absolutely in this half. You couldn't predict the half-time. There's a 3-minute, 4-minute period with 4 tries on the bounce from kickoffs, and suddenly the game's gone for Barrow. So Coach Cleary has a big job at this second half of putting Humpty Dumpty back together again.
7 tries for the Toronto Wolfpack. That is Paul Cleary. He has got a tough job ahead of him over the next 10 minutes to try and reinvigorate his squad and get them coming out fired up in the second half. But at half-time at Lamport Stadium, the Wolfpack leading the Raiders by 40 points to 2. We'll be right back. Warm welcome back to Lamport Stadium in the heart of Liberty Village in Toronto. Just around 5:20 local time, around 10:20 in the UK. And if you are watching in Cumbria, we're delighted you're with us. You will probably not be delighted by the half-time score, which reads Toronto Wolfpack 40, Barrow Raiders 2. And interestingly, Brian Noble, it seems an awful long time ago that Barrow actually scored the first points of the game.
Well, they did start the game with the penalty, didn't they?
They did.
They clearly wanted to have a managed control. With that philosophy of trying to manage and control a game, you've got to be good defensively, and unfortunately a few people have fallen off tackles, which, for whatever reason. But the physical speed and the prowess of the Wolfpackers come to the fore yet again. I don't think anybody guessed it would be this kind of scoreline at half-time, and there's been glimpses from Barrow, but the one thing I will say about this Wolfpack team is they've bent their backs on their own try line as well, because Barrow have had 6 or 7 or 8 sets on the offence and haven't managed to get over the line. And so there you see the half-time scoreline for the Toronto Wolfpack against the Barrow Raiders.
And then a bunch of games coming up on Sunday. South Wales, North Wales, both hosting, as well as Coventry, Doncaster, Hunslet and Whitehaven, who are having a good season as well. But 7 tries to none in favour of the Wolfpack. And for that first 15-20 minutes, it was a pretty even contest. It was a little bit untidy. There were 1 or 2 handbags being thrown, but then the Wolfpack seemed to find another gear, Brian, and just took the Raiders to the cleaners.
Well, it was 3 or 4 sets on the bounce, wasn't it,
yeah,
from restarts, and unfortunately for the Raiders, they just physically weren't able to stay with this Wolfpack team, who were willing and wanting to make a point in relation to what they're about and how they feel this Toronto and Lamport Stadium in particular wants to be a fortress. So you're going to have to be good if you come here.
Coming up for the Wolfpack, they are at home again in a couple of weeks' time. A game we will have for you. We hope you'll join us. Wolfpack home to the Coventry Bears. That's Saturday, June the 3rd, 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. in the UK. And then the following week, they're off to South Wales to play the Ironmen. And that is on June the 10th. So the fans enjoying themselves, the entertainment, and they've been entertained with plenty of scoring in this first half. Here's how we started the day, with the Wolfpack and the Raiders both perfect, Brian, with 7-0 records, which is why I guess we're a little surprised that at half-time the Wolfpack are as far ahead as they are.
Yeah, it hasn't lived up to the billing,
no,
but that's not anybody's fault other than I think the Wolfpack are good today, and I think, you know, for a lot of reasons, you can focus on the wrong things on game day, and I'm not sure that hasn't happened yet. Whatever situation you're given and whatever team you put out there, you've got to aim and you've got to rock up. And now I think there's a little bit of both. I think the Wolfpack have been strong today, physically strong, running well, executed well at times, probably not fluently, but I've had a lot of physical prowess to throw against this Barrow team, and you know, a lot of distractions through the week, but I don't care. You're adjudicated on what you throw out there.
One of the distractions here are the craft beers at the north end of the stadium.
Is that a distraction, Nigel?
It is. It would be for me. It most certainly would be for me. We'll be right back with highlights. The Wolfpack leading 42 at half-time. Come right back with us. Toronto's most famous landmark, that is the top of the CN Tower on a Victoria Day weekend. In the 6, or the T-Dot as this place is sometimes known, Hogtown as well, and that is Lamport Stadium. You're at the Wolfpack's den. Temperature, it's just cooling down a little, but there is a little more wind as we've seen in that first half as well. But the Wolfpack have taken full advantage and lead, Brian, by 40 points to 2, and there have been some terrific tries.
Well, that's just Wallace stepping off his right foot, as we've seen on a number of occasions, and able to play. There's Bailey again using his physical prowess, bumping off tired Barrow defenders in and around their own line, and still close at that point. But then QLT, he gets his freebie on the back of, remember what was a Dixon break, wasn't it? And here we go, here's Dixon on his outline, so this is his second. Just good smart play from Andrew Dixon. And look at that, it's Wheeler. What about the put down here? What's him up? There you go.
That's terrific.
That's great skill.
Great skill by Wheeler to get it down in control.
And here's Craig Hall. He'd gone the whole distance, couldn't do the last 2 meters, and Worthington gets the easy job of putting the ball over the line, but on the back of the line. There's Fooey, off you go, Fooey. Where he goes, Wee. Eventually finds Bezic, and Ryan Brierley's on the outside there waiting for his nice little tipple tails. Enjoyed that clearly. I think it was a Fooey run that they enjoyed for 60 or 70 meters. So big job for Barrow in the second half, Nigel.
As the She-Wolves entertain the crowd, and if you blinked and missed them there, that was 7 tries, 7 unanswered tries, and that is the forlorn look of Paul Crary. I wonder if he's managed to instill a little bit of hope into his team as they wait for the second half to get underway. Wolfpack up by 38. We'll be right back. Out come the Wolfpack, refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready for the start of the second half against the Barrow Raiders. 2 teams who came into this game, Brian Noble, undefeated. And if you look at that half-time score, it looks like there's only one outcome. at this stage, but you never count your chickens, I guess.
Well, from what I've seen, I'm not sure there's going to be a reversal of the scoreline. However, that's for Barrow to prove us wrong.
Barrow in the blue jerseys get us underway. Start of this second half. Fui Moi Moi, who hasn't trained all week, apparently, because he had a bit of a dodgy hamstring. I didn't see much sign of it in the first half, and I didn't see much sign of it there.
Ball pass there, boys.
I wish mine was as
Ball
bad.
pass,
An early mistake here from the Wolfpack, so somebody's overrun the play there. So head and feed here for Barrow to give them the opportunity to get back into this game if they possibly can.
Well, they've got 40 minutes to do something about this scoreline. They trail by 38 at the break, but John McMullen, the referee, what did he see here?
I think it's the next one. I think he adjudicates that the pass from Penkovic at dummy half to Fleming was forward.
We won't see it because the game is back underway live, and that's the way it should be. Dan Fleming with the tackle on Declan Hume, and now Tom Walker to within, what, 5 or 6 yards of that Toronto line. Ashall at dummy half. Charnock changing direction, dragged down by Penkovic. 6 tackles, remember, they're halfway through. Can they pierce that Toronto line in the early stages of this second half? They might here. He's thrown it away.
He'd done the tough stuff at Fieldhouse. He's found the outside of his defender, flicked the ball over the top, got it to the winger. He just couldn't quite get there, could he?
There'll be a scrum down, and it'll be Toronto head and feed. Enterprising rugby at the start of this second half by Barrow. It was so good for so long.
Well, Cresswell put his foot out there and adjudicated that, was trying to get the ball back on the inside, but Fieldhouse had done a great job.
Riley with the put in. Penkovic helps it on its way. Worthington dragged down.
Hold. Go.
Wallace, hands off.
Surrender. Stand. Go.
Dixon inside for Bezic.
Oh, good tackle. Got in the way there, Ashall tried to rattle down Fleming, but about 105 or 6 kilos Fleming.
Well, he takes some stopping. This man takes some stopping. Fui Moi Moi. But they managed it. Combination of Jordan and Walker. Penkovic flings it wide to Wallace. Wallace breaks one tackle, takes the second. Last tackle. Will they kick this time? Briley does. Up and under. Fieldhouse gets underneath it, but he's not far away from his own sticks, and Briley's there to drag him down.
So arm wrestle again at the start of this half. Yep. Trading blows like tennis players going from the baseline, so you can find a kick, find some field position, that kind of scenario.
Up to the 20-metre line. Need to get as far away as they can. They've broken one tackle, and away they come here, and QLT doing his job and manages.
And it was a penalty. Great break. Is it Cresswell again? Coming from his wing, he's found a hole around the rock. He goes past Penkovic. QLT makes the good tackle and then double effort. You can't do that, so penalty to Barrow.
Charnock kicks for position up to just outside the 20-metre line. And more good enterprise.
Cresswell break and the penalty from QLT.
So 6 more then for Barrow. Ashall flings it inside. Oh, and then they dropped it.
Ball.
Dropped it and knocked it on, presumably.
Penkovic getting off his line, trying to make amends for his slight misdemeanour on the miss. He gets in the front and causing forced an error. Nor a knock-on from Barrow and a knock-on from the Wolfpack, so the referee brings a play back for the scrum.
Original mistake came from Jordan, who couldn't hold it after that collision with Penkovic.
Feed. Let's go, Ryan.
It will be Wolfpack head and feed. They go left with Greg Worthington, QLT. Those dancing feet.
Stand one. Go.
Wallace goes left. Dixon, Craig Hall, the captain,
Okay.
keeps it alive for Worthington. Worthington dancing one way then the other. Semi broke the tackle, made a couple more yards, just over halfway into Raiders territory. Fleming.
Good football.
QLT
It's
now
Wheeler through.
Wheeler
The
could be
player's
gone
on his
here.
inside. Oh,
Oh, now it's Craig Hall drops it.
spilled his lollies. Line wide open, and great break from Wheeler. Gets to the outside. Throws the ball on the inside. It's all done. The hard work's done by Wheeler here. Steps on the inside. Gets the ball, Craig.
Well, there you go. That just proves that Craig Hall is human after all.
That's a great break from Wheeler, looking at end on. That's great telly. Barrow have been good at the start of this half, the first few minutes, but a little bit of shift and a little bit of movement from the Wolfpack team exposes their left flank.
Second rows in.
Well, as you said, Brian, they've done the hard work. All Craig Hall had to do was catch the ball, but he couldn't execute. And so Barrow, those blue shirts, playing now towards the north end of the stadium, perhaps with a little bit of what wind there is. It's sort of coming across the stadium towards us here as you look at the screen from that southeast corner of the stadium. So maybe that might be a little bit of an advantage for them in these next 40 minutes or so, 35 minutes. Fieldhouse manages to keep it alive. The referee says okay. Stack makes a couple more yards before he's hauled down by Bezic. And Dixon gets off. We may have an injury here. And the physio, as you can hear the referee saying time off, so the official clock or stopwatch for the game will be halted. And we have a stoppage. Here's what happened.
Get treatment as long as you need.
Fieldhouse kept it going initially.
The ball there, is it Stack? Yeah, it's Jared Stack goes down, and maybe the weight of the Toronto player on top of him has maybe sprung his shoulder or sprained his shoulder. Or...
Well, always worrying moments, and bearing in mind that Paul Crary, as you see there in the blue shirt, only came with 17, well, perhaps 16 and a half fit players. He can ill afford any more in-game injuries.
Well, it's getting up, Jared Stack. That's a good sign. I think he's all right.
A little gingerly, but no malice, I think, from Dixon. And a sympathetic round of applause from the Canadian fans. Stack's well enough to play the ball. And on we go. Walker eventually upended by Bezic and Fleming. Now the kick ahead by Charnock. The field position.
Smart. That's a great set, opening set. Well, second set for Barrow. They've again swapped, wanting to trade punches from the baseline now and not get involved in the fast play, the exchange of speed.
That's a nice touch. Craig Hall. The ball boys. Not sure if he's an official ball boy or not, but playing his full part in this second home game for the Toronto Wolfpack. Oxford were dispatched summarily a couple of weeks ago, and now the Wolfpack leading League One, looking to do much the same to the Barrow Raiders.
The more vigorous you can see.
Johnny Pannell getting all tied up.
Numbers in the tackle from Barrow, trying to stop the quick play of the ball. Penkovic trying to pick a pocket down the short side, finds a great pass, and a nice play on that. He hasn't obstructed anybody else.
Brightly juggled it but caught it, and then decided he'd accept the tackle. Penkovic for Bezic as the Wolfpack approach halfway. No addition to the score since half-time. Fui, Moi, juggled
Great
it.
tackle. Well done, Hashaw.
Now what's happened there? Now the referee's given a penalty to Toronto.
I thought he dropped it cold.
I thought he did too, but he's got the benefit of the doubt here.
Let's have a look.
Well, you can judge for yourself. Have another look. Offload to Fui, Moi. Takes the tackle. Then what happens? Well,
maybe a bit of interference.
On we go with Rich Whiting.
Move! We need 10 metres. Hold.
Penkovic at dummy half.
Diagonally
across, he might go all the way. He will go all the way. He's got it down, has he?
He definitely
has. Penkovic just saw a gap and thought, that's mine. I'm having some of that. And he's in for the score.
Well, the seas opened for him, didn't they? He just was looking for a pass play. It's dangerous out of dummy half. He's running at the line. Defenders are unsure what he's going to do. One hangs off, and all of a sudden, yeah, there he goes. He goes straight past the number 17, which is Tom Walker. Too quick. Here we go. Benkovic is out. Who's going to stop me? Catch me if you can. Walker can't get there. Benkovic, all he has to do is get the ball down, isn't it?
By the time they realised who was supposed to be taking responsibility, it was way, way too late. And Sean Benkovic helps himself to his first try of the afternoon. 8 tries now so far this day for the Wolfpack. And Craig Hall, you would imagine, will add the extra 2. And just left of the sticks. This shouldn't be a problem for him. Slots it over in routine style. It's 46-2 to the league-leading Wolfpack.
Well, they've been resolute at the start, Barrow, but...
Well, it took 10 minutes or thereabouts of this second half for the Wolfpack to add to their half-time score.
Got a good haircut, hasn't he, Fui?
Well, I think it suits him. I don't think
it suit you, no.
No, I don't think I can get away with it.
No.
Honestly, I don't. In fact, I know I couldn't. Mind you, I've got to be envious of a man with that much hair, because mine's been disappearing for years. So good for him. Lewis Charnock gets us underway again. Hold up in the wind. They got the onside catch. They've got it.
Ball back here, Barrow.
They've got it, have they?
Oh, and a penalty.
And a penalty as well. Stack again with that bleeding knee.
It was a great kick-off, wasn't it? And that's what they were trying to do in the first half.
That was,
the ricochet and the bounce of the ball didn't go their way.
It did not, and they got punished for it, but it worked that time. Joe Bullock trying to bulldoze his way through. Referee
another penalty.
Will give them another penalty. So more pressure from the Raiders as we speak. They only have that early Lewis Charnock penalty for their efforts. James Jordan all bottled up by Fui and Bob Bezic. They'll go left for Ryan Johnston. Fleming brought to ground. They're getting closer, Barrow. Is the referee going to say he's going to penalise Toronto again here?
Let me talk to him.
Now the referee's going to have a word.
Time off.
But you should see what's happening here.
Let's see what the referee has to say.
There's 3 of you, when you've licked his leg, you've turned him round. Just take it back in, man. 3 on the bounce. I won't be giving any more. It'll be a team warning. Take it back.
Well, there you heard. Any more of that, says the referee, and it'll be a team warning. So the instructions have been made clear, and Joe Bullock trying to get across the line. He's held up, what, a couple of inches, maybe 6 inches short.
2 on your line.
But they have 6 more here.
Oh, no penalties, boys.
And Raiders again, it's a familiar pattern because they've been close before, they got over this time.
Take it back. Held up for 3. Take it back.
Not quite.
Great defence. I thought it was over the line. Walker, he came on the fly, didn't he? And they've adjudicated, they've held him up, so they have to play the ball 10 metres out, play 3. Plenty of pressure here from the Barrow.
They've been mighty close on many occasions.
Let's go, let's play it.
Walker again with the play of the ball. Now, will it happen this time for them? Flung out to Johnston. He's got Loxham on his left-hand side. They're close again. Now the referee is going to penalise them again.
Loxton. No, it's a knock-on.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Misread the referee signal.
3 sets on the bounce there. The Wolfpack will be pleased with that defensive effort. A bit of a clumsy effort from Loxton in the end, and just nothing going right for the Raiders.
That was the best set without penalties. Well done, let's keep talking.
The Raiders have come very close on multiple occasions to getting across that Toronto try line. But for one reason or another, they've been held up short. Combination of good defending and poor execution. As away comes Greg Worthington for the Toronto Wolfpack. It'll take 2 or 3 of them to put him on the floor. First tackle gone of 6. Bezic for Dixon.
2, move!
Been good today, hasn't he, Dixon? The little things.
Go.
The referee's going to stop it again here. And he's going to penalise Toronto, I believe.
That's a forward pass.
Yeah.
So it's a head and feet against Barrow. I think poor execution on the short side there's adjudicated. Sean Penkovic has thrown the ball forward. It's Bezic
Right there,
throws
yeah.
the ball forward there. Not sure it was, but
Yeah, it wasn't that obvious, but the referee spotted it.
Second row, please.
Lateral is okay, backwards is okay, but forward pass is a no-no in both codes of rugby for that matter, I suppose we should say. Ryan Bailey doing his job, getting stuck in. Tom Walker held up by Wheeler.
2, move!
Sean
10
Pickle
metres,
is the
right
interchange.
there. Hold. Let's go.
Bailey
3,
again,
on your leg!
using those big, thick, muscular legs
Don't
to
knock
halt
too
the
early.
progress. Up they go right this time. Charnock looking for a chink in the armour. Fui, Moi Moi coming back for more.
Ball's come out there.
well, that's just
Ball tackle.
the contact is
There we go.
adjudicated that the Barrow players knocked on again in contact. Charnock got crushed by Fui. See there, over tackle. Bezic in on the tackle. Dixon in the tackle. Fushi finishes him off and just drops the
Time's
ball.
off, white's kicked.
Ball does come loose. Didn't see that live, but the
Heads in,
referee
boys.
did, and that's all that matters.
Fellas, we're all here. Let's go, come on. Front rows, 1, 2, 3, second rows.
Got a bit scruffy, hasn't it, the game, Nigel? So both teams guilty of errors and forward passes and not much fluidity.
Just
such a word.
just a little. I mean, Wolfpack came on Tuesday.
Oh, that's a great ball.
Here we go.
There goes Wheeler
There
again.
we go, Gary Wheeler.
Off he goes. What a great break.
Made 40, 45 yards there, all by himself. Great field position now. And now Johnny Pownell thought about offloading to Fui Moi Moi, but decided to have a run himself.
Still going,
He's
Johnny
still
Pownell.
going, Johnny Pownell. In the end, in comes Joe Bullock to haul him down. Good position again here for the Wolfpack as they look to up the try count. Wallace has already scored. He fancies another.
Too long there, come on. I'm
Too
talking
long.
to you, no need pushing
Lying on,
afterwards.
says the referee. It's a penalty to Toronto. It'll be 6 more. And you'd think they should score from this position.
Oh, he's right.
But they've got to go through those sets. They've got to hold the ball. Here's what happened. Charnock just laid on a little too long.
What?
Big boy pick, isn't he?
Hold.
He
Gets
is.
the ball in there.
QLT, can he go himself? He can. It's QLT in for his second. It's as easy as that. And the Wolfpack are into the 50s.
Well, just leg speed here from QLT. He goes between Ashall and Fleming, the boy Fleming, and again that weight of pressure, but Fui Moi Moi lurking, Bailey lurking, but it comes out to QLT, just gets on the outside of the boy Fleming, and too much leg speed for him.
The good professionals, doesn't matter what the sport is, Brian, the good professionals, the great professionals, make it look easy.
Yeah, that's true. And he was at pace, and he's got pace as well as he was at pace, and he just runs on the outside of Fleming. Just couldn't quite make up the space that was created by the movement from other Wolfpack players.
She-Wolves ready to party, as they do every time the Wolfpack score. Craig Hall is looking away from them. He's focused on putting that little white ball between those white sticks and maybe one into the parking lot. Let's see if he can do it. Up it goes. It curled in the air, but it just about stayed inside the uprights. And it's 52-2. And another conversion for the Wolfpack skipper. Fui Moi Moi taking a bit of a breather. But it's a 50-point advantage for the Wolfpack. Quentin Lalu Togagai, or QLT to his friends, and just about everybody else in the rugby world, has his second try of the afternoon. Well, it was always a big ask for Barrow. They were missing players for visa issues, a couple of others due to injuries, but they made no excuses. They said, we're here, to make a game of it, to do the best we can.
Okay,
And they've got the ball again from their own kick-off.
They've been great on the kick-offs, haven't they, Barrow?
They actually work, maybe working better, kicking into this wind, or perhaps with the wind. Mossop offloads to Bullock. And once again, they're threatening the Toronto try line. Charnock. Three tackles gone. You can see how close they are. Mossop at dummy half. Inside for the skipper, Ollie Wilkes. Tied up by Bezic, and I think that's Sidlow as well around him. QLT in attendance.
He only knows one way, Ollie Wilkes. That's towards the opposition.
They're that close to the try line. And I don't think anybody would begrudge Barrow a try here, because they've done their very best and they've come close on numerous occasions. Charnock manages to keep it alive. Shane Toll, but straight into touch.
Well,
and
you have to say
20-metre dropout.
Great defence as well from the Wolfpack. They're very proud. They don't want. You mentioned something then, who would begrudge Barrow a try. I think the Wolfpack team and Coach Rowley probably. So they want to keep us near to a clean sheet as they possibly can. And now we see the restart from the 20 metres, because the ball goes out in goal. It's an extra tackle, so they get a 0 tackle from here, penalising a poor kick in essence. And there's Blake Wallace on his run. Left foot step again.
One to beat, inside to Brierley. Brierley's not going to be caught. Brierley under the sticks, and the Wolfpack are in again.
Well, Wallace again showing his prowess as a runner, and Ryan Brierley, Johnny on the spot, restart, here we go. Blake Wallace sees half a hole, bang, steps on his left foot, people either side of him, and Ryan Brierley's his go-to guy, and why wouldn't he? Because they're not going to catch him.
I was doing my homework before the game. Brierley, this is his third league game for the Wolfpack. Scored 2 tries in his opening game. That was here against Oxford. Scored a couple more against Newcastle, and another brace today. So he's totaling up the try count pretty quickly, Brian Brierley. 6 tries in, what, 2 2/3 games, I suppose you'd say, roughly speaking. Just past the hour mark. Craig Hall from in front of the posts makes no mistake, and
that one made the car park.
That one did make the car park. You're right.
Parking lot.
Parking lot. That's it. You see,
learning now.
We're educating you, Brian. I'm so proud about that.
We did invent the language, though, so we can call it a car park.
You can, Brian. You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as you keep it relatively clean. 58-2. The off-putting me. I'm trying to write down the scores as we go here. Just about done that. So Barrow find themselves kicking off from halfway again. Last couple of times they've managed to retrieve possession. See Rich Whiting there with number 17, ready if it's a shorter kick, longer this time. Up to the sticks, into the waiting arms of QLT. Here comes Ryan Bailey.
Well, there is a constant pressure, isn't it, with the big boys from the Wolfpack, and speed that they've got in and around the ruck there.
QLT held up. Bezic decided, thought about going left, thought about going right, went for a little trot himself. Held up by Mossop, among others. This time they do come right. Johnny Pownell, he's just about the only notable Wolfpack player we haven't seen on the score sheet so far today. Sidlow trying to keep it alive, does so successfully. QLT, little chip through, gave the ball away.
Ashall did well there, kicked it straight at him, and he got his Ryan Fieldhouse offload. Good at that, gets rid of the ball. Here comes Joe Bullock.
Still alive.
Good carry.
Into Toronto territory. Right on top of the Toronto City sign. City-owned stadium. Mossop at dummy half. Three tackles gone. It's a fair point you make. I mean, I say that few would begrudge the Raiders a try, but as you say, as they get a penalty here. The Wolfpack are a proud defensive unit, and if they can stop a team from scoring, then they're going to do whatever it takes to do so.
Well,
and that's a very fair point that you make, Brian. I mean,
well,
this
absolutely.
is a professional game.
What else do you want to do when the opposition have got the ball?
There you go.
You've got to be good at that as well.
Well, they do say defence wins championships in most sports, and I guess rugby league is a little different. If you can score them at the other end as well, all well and good, as Jared Stack is hauled to the turf. 6 or 7 metres short. They've got tackles to burn here. Jordan trying to find a way around Wallace.
Close there, didn't it, Jordan?
Almost. They're almost there again. They're knocking on the Toronto Wolfpack door. Offload for Bullock. Balls come loose.
Go for the first knock on there, boys.
Knock on. And the turnover will happen now.
Well, they got into Bullock's face there and forced the error. And that's the kind of pride that I was speaking about in relation to defence. You've got a long way to, if you can defend your own chalk, as they say, then you've only got to score one at the other end, haven't you?
Well, that's the theory, Brian. That is the theory.
As long as you need.
Running repairs.
Get some water on, boys.
As you can see, that's when we resume. It will be Wolfpack ball.
Just on the 10 metres.
Just, what, 7, 8, 9 metres away from their own line. Quick breather for everyone. It's not a hot day. It's a mild day. Temperature,
beautiful day.
12, 13 degrees. The wind has dropped. As you can see, the clouds gathering in now around the Den, just west of downtown. Temperature into single digits now. Just after 6 p.m. local time, 11 p.m. in Great Britain.
Heads in. Time's on. Let's go.
And the fans certainly enjoying themselves. Just need a sweater day. It's not. You don't need to be bundled up too much. Don't need the heavy coat today. And it will get, as we've discussed, Brian, as we move into the dog days of summer, it will get hot here.
Yeah.
Had a couple of days earlier in the week, I don't know whether you were here then, when the temperatures were, Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures were up in the 30s, and that's when it really gets hot and humid and tough for the athletes. But we're not there yet, but they're coming as sure as eggs in June, July and August. It gets mighty hot round here. Sidlow. Whiting missed out. They almost all missed out. Johnny Powling manages to field it. It was behind him, so referee allows play to go on. Now Wheeler.
Had a good game, hasn't he, Wheeler?
He really has. Bob Bezic. Well, who wants it? Bezic decides to go himself.
Hold, go.
Now Sean Pick trying to get some hard yards, get those legs pumping for the Wolfpack. Bezic picks up. Wallace. QLT bounces off one. Dancing feet again.
He's got the fend going now, hasn't he? He's got the dancing feet.
He really does.
The big see you later in the mush.
You know, it's a joy to watch some of these players perform. It really is. Sidlow.
No, good
offloads to Pick, and Pick is over. Well, there you go. Sean Pick adds to the scoring as the Wolfpack move into the 60s. Thanks very much, Sean Pick.
Well, that was just too big, too strong. One for the big boys union in the middle. Pick, a large human being. Sidlow pokes his hands through the line and Pick in close support. Little flick pass from Adam Sidlow. Is a terrific forward score. Tired-looking Barrow defence.
I believe I'm right in saying that is Sean Pick's first try for the Toronto Wolfpack, certainly in league play. I don't have him on my list as having touchdown before, so a memorable moment for Sean Pick. The pride of Pontefract. So they're all getting in on the out. We've still got, what, 12, 13 minutes to play here. Tankovic back on the field.
He's not coming back on with that. Time's off.
Sure, I was writing down my notes and just updating my score. In fact, I did. I was going to say, did I miss Craig Hall's conversion? And the answer is I did. So 64-4. 64-2, I beg your pardon. Is the current score. Adam Sidlow going for a run.
Hold. Play it. Go, well done.
Feeds Johnny Pownall. Held up by Wilkes, who's done his best in adverse condition. Ollie Wilkes, big number 10 on his back there. Penkovic offloads.
Showing a bit of width now, the Wolfpack, and trying to expose maybe some opportunities on the fringes here.
Worthington going for a gallop.
There's a penalty or knock on.
He's lost it, he's lost it.
He's lost it, says the referee.
Turn it down.
Just put a lid on it, boys.
Boys, walk away. Greg, just walk away, fella.
The referee doesn't need to see any pushing and shoving, any afters, any handbags.
I think it's all in the right sense of things. Worthington drops the ball there clearly.
Just came loose.
Did, and
he's
always words with him, and words, and so pushing a shove, and
10 metres.
10 minutes to go, there's nothing going to happen there.
So Barrow through Bullock inside Toronto territory. Still just that Lewis Charnock penalty in the opening minutes of the game.
2-0.
They did. It was 2-0 at one stage. 64 unanswered points since. And by my reckoning, 11 tries. I stand to be corrected. Ashall forward.
Forward there, boys.
It was indeed. Bullock caught it, ran into a wall, but it wouldn't have mattered because it was a forward pass. Good spot, Brian.
Well, it was Ashall that was trying to create a space by running on. It puts pressure on the ball carrier, and unfortunately you're not allowed forward passes in this game.
Well, when you see it in slow motion, it's obviously forward, but when you see it at full speed, that was travelling, and Bullock was on his bike there. Not all that obvious. Sean Pick getting some running repairs.
Moving that line in very well over there. Just keep them going, make sure they're going 10.
What happened there?
It's Chris Rustling, the Wolfpack physio, just administering some attention, maybe just holding his neck or his shoulders, maybe.
Yeah, it's all right.
Just feeling those neck, those jaw bones, make sure nothing's been knocked out of kilter.
Yeah, he's all right.
Looks okay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
His mum loves him.
Yeah, let me get on with it.
Right,
let me get on with it. I've scored a try. I've scored a try in Canada in the sunshine. What could possibly go wrong? Just feeling those neck muscles. Obviously got a bang somewhere along the way. There you go. Bang right there, perhaps.
Goes down.
By his own man. Or did he get a boot or a... Yeah, maybe.
Let's go, please. Time's on, Andrew. Let's feed it.
A clout somewhere along the way.
Wheeler again. He's gone again.
He's gone. He thinks he's gone. Well, they did well to get back to him in the end.
Drag him there, mate. Drag him. Drag it.
Well, adjudicated that the Barrow players have dragged Wheeler out. He's found the ground as Wheeler's trying to stay on the island, as I say, stay in the field of play. But the Barrow players said, well, no, we're going to drag you off the island.
You talk about the islands around this place, and you talk about Toronto Islands, and they, just across from the island airport, are out of bounds for the foreseeable future because of all the rain we had a couple of weeks ago. And the mayor came out yesterday and said that's it, no visitors on the Toronto Islands for the foreseeable future, because the locals who actually live there have got sandbags and goodness knows what to try and keep the water back. But I take your point. Here's Penkovic and Bailey getting those legs moving. Go on. Bailey almost there, and then he was tripped, and it'll be another penalty.
Well, he was trying to get a quick play of the ball.
He was.
Had got a quick play of the ball. He'd won the right to play the ball quickly, and somebody tugged at his legs, and now the referee's going to have a word with the captain saying, stop the clock.
Penalties coming your way now. That's the first one. Talking to you for sorting out, so I don't have to. All right, mate. Turn the bite.
I'm sorting it out.
Oliver Wilkes was saying penalties. That's the least of our problems.
Sidlow, 7 or 8, 9 metres short.
Stand! Hold.
Get off him, says the referee. Or words to that effect. Penkovic might go again. He's right on the try line, held up on his back.
Hold your line.
Good D from Barrow there.
But they're that close. Fleming, Sidlow, can he bulldoze his way over?
Held up.
No, he can't. Held up.
Good defence again from Barrow.
Well done, boys. 3.
Little mousetrap play, an old-fashioned. Fleming was stood in front of him, went through 2 pairs of feet. Still can get over.
Wallace.
2 big front rowers with
Riley.
a mousetrap play. Here we go.
QLT's in, is he? He is. It's a hat-trick for QLT.
They look tired, don't they?
They do.
Barrow.
3 tries for
The ship
QLT.
play. Wallace out to Briley. QLT coming out the back, and again his speed breaks the tackle and under the hitches. There you go, on the outside of Ashall.
Perfect example of those dancing, prancing feet from QLT, Quentin Lalu Tugagai. We have to give him his full name once in a while. He's been prominent again. Craig Hall, as always, reliable in front of the sticks and adds on the extras, and it is 70 points to 2 with 70 minutes gone at Lamport Stadium. Well, you don't want to say it's been another blowout victory for the Wolfpack, but the scoreline, Brian, rather speaks for itself.
It's a blowout, yeah. Didn't start that way for the first 20 minutes. Pleasing to see QLT. That's a hat-trick today, isn't it, from him?
That's what I've got in front of me.
And he's shown his explosive speed. Everybody finding their way. I don't think the Wolfpack have hit their straps for an 80-minute performance, but it's nice to see him getting on the end of things and his commitment to this team.
Charnock gets us underway again. He managed to play it. Wallace got ahead of QLT. Grabbed it at the second attempt, and on his own 10-yard line, 10-metre line, they'll start again. Sean Pick, he's relishing this battle as well. Got himself on the score sheet. Bit of a resigned shake of the head from Paul Crary, the Barrow coach, and I guess that's understandable. Dixon hauled down, and there's another injury, which is going to need some more physio time off, says the referee.
I think Dixon.
Let him get seen there.
It is Dixon, you're right.
Time's off.
Got a bit of a bang to the head there. And whenever there is even a suggestion, and rightly so, Brian, even a suggestion of some sort of head injury, referee stops everything, gets the physios on, and lets the medics do their job.
Well, we have some good protocols now in rugby league, and clearly one is the concussion protocol. There's a lot of information in world sport now about knocks and head knocks, and so rugby league is no different. If you get a crack on the conker, then there are protocols that you have to follow and have to process through, and clearly banged his head there, didn't he? Let's have a look, see what happened. Did he go to ground? Is it?
Three of them went down with him, and he immediately clutched that right temple, and there you are, there's the result.
Claret coming out of his snores. Yeah. He'll have to go off, and there's a blood bank protocol as well, so he'll have to go get that cleaned up.
As the coach, with the very snazzy Wolfpack tie, makes his way down from on high.
Boys, let's keep working both ways, yeah? Let's partner.
And Andrew Dixon will get some running repairs.
Wait, Lewis. We're behind, stay behind. Right, we're good to go. Time's on. It's in.
Time's on, and on we go. Barrow get the ball from the scrummage. Now, can they make something happen here? Luke Cresswell couldn't hold it.
Knock on there, boys.
Knocked it on, and immediately the possession is conceded again, cheaply by the Raiders.
Well, Ryan Fieldhouse had done the good thing. He'd given the good handoff, got rid of his defender, found a play on the outside. Maybe the ball was a little behind the ball, and so they couldn't quite get it in, could he, Cresswell?
Loose forward, loose. Loose tight, hold your 10. Heads in.
So Briley will feed the scrum. Penkovic takes it away and finds Worthington.
What? Move! 10 metres.
Tom Walker in close attendance. Penkovic again. Fui, moi. Back on the field after a little bit of a rest. And here they come again. Fleming breaks one tackle, looking to break a second. He's lost
the ball stolen. Well played.
Well done, Jordan. And legally too. And now a penalty coming for, and he's saying walk away. And Fleming wasn't happy with the fact that the ball was taken away, but the referee saw nothing wrong. And it's Raiders' possession.
Well, there's a break from Fleming. He's done all the hard stuff. Hands off Ollie Wilkes. Gets the ball nicked from Jordan, which is a fair play. Clearly cheesed off Fleming and goes in and gives a penalty away, trying to...
We don't need that.
Referee doing his best to keep a lid on one or two tempers that are getting a little frayed in these closing minutes. Off you get, Ryan Bailey, says the referee. Jordan again. Well, for a man who has been dealing with a shoulder injury and wasn't really expected to even play today, I'll tell you what, James Jordan has certainly put in a shift, hasn't he, Brian?
Yeah, he's done well for his team. Zashol trying to exploit some...
Charnock offload. Well, now then.
Well, that's two things. Didn't quite work out for Barrow there, the quality of the skill, but they were under a lot of pressure, so the Wolfpack team continued to come forward defensively as well, which puts any ball player or ball catcher into under pressure.
Let's stay smart and acting.
6 minutes remaining.
Come on, boys, let's bind.
70 points to 2 in favour of the white shirts of the Wolfpack. I'm going to give you a moment or two, Brian, but in a couple of minutes, it's QLT makes the breakaway. Briley's going under the sticks, is he? He got tackled, and he lost the ball as well.
Great tackle from the Barrow defender.
Well, that's great efforts and great commitments by Barrow, because Briley was, well, you could see the whites of the goalpost. He was 3 or 4 metres short.
And you would have backed him every day of the week, but the boy Toll got back and stripped the ball as well as tackled him. Well done, Barrow.
I'm going to give you about 60 seconds to collect your thoughts, Brian, and then I will ask you for a man of the match. So maybe you want to have a look around there.
Well, all the candidates, to be honest, are in the white shirts today. I think there's been some man-for-muscle efforts, as we saw there from Toll at Barrow. How did he get back? Great play, well done.
That was one heck of a tackle by Shane Toll.
Yeah.
We haven't seen at his best. He hasn't been allowed to be at his best because he's been one of the revelations, one of the top try scorers for the Raiders so far this season. But he just hasn't been allowed the room to roam that he would have liked. But that was surely a try-saving tackle. There's no question about that.
Well, here's your man of the match for me. He scored a hat-trick today. He's looked very threatening. He made the break at the back end there. He's cleaned up most of the kicks as well. So you have to say that Quinton Lala Togagai, QLT, as you've been calling him all afternoon, has been a star in a team full of hard workers and industrial forwards, etc. Wallace played well, but QLT was probably the icing on the cake today.
Toronto Wolfpack fullback, I beg your pardon. Quinton Laulu Togagai, QLT, making his home debut, was here for the game against Oxford, but tweaked his back, didn't play in that game. But he has certainly made up for lost time against the Barrow Raiders. A hat-trick for QLT, and he is Brian Noble's man of the match.
Another forced error there from this.
Hearing the attendance, just a little over 7,000. And there is your man of the match, QLT. Hat-trick of tries. And his handling was also exemplary in the first half when there was a little blustery wind blowing around, making conditions difficult. Fui, moi stopped before those legs got pumping. He heard the referee's whistle.
I think he was thankful he didn't have to go the distance because he was in the clear there. As you say, good call, ref.
Fleming.
Good offload.
Kept it alive to Penkovic. Kept it alive for Sidlow. Can they work it left? Sidlow takes the tackle, loses the ball, but it will be a Toronto ball.
I think he was stripped by the Ryan Fieldhouse, who's had a dig today, hasn't he? The Barrow fullback.
There you go, the attendance, the official attendance. Better than the home opener, 7,144 paying spectators. And they've been royally entertained.
That's on a weekend when they all go to the seaside, isn't it?
Well, they all go to
the country cottages.
They all go to the cottage country weekend, Victoria Day weekend. So the crowds continue to be attracted by this new professional sport. Steve Crossley keeps it alive. Penkovic manages, well, he drops it. He did manage to handle it left-handed and then couldn't control it second time around. Yeah, Victoria Day weekend is when they all dash off to cottage country on a Friday, and the highway gets mighty crowded. So if you stay in town, there's actually a little bit more room to park your car.
Let's go, Craig. Feed it.
But I think the Wolfpack organisation and the Rugby League can be well satisfied with an attendance topping 7,000
That's great
for this top-of-the-table clash.
Oh.
Crossley.
Gosh.
Yeah, well, he felt that one.
I felt it for him.
Yeah.
3, move!
That's his job, Steve Crossley.
Hold.
Penkovic needs to get away.
4
tackles gone, 2 to go, and they're not up to halfway. Not close to it yet. Maybe they'll get over this time. Jordan again.
Okay.
Good offload. And Ashall with the play. Got 2 on 1 here.
Going.
Yeah,
And they may be
Barrow.
in here. Jordan again gets hauled down by Sidlow, I think it is. The two 21s coming together. Charnock, the little kick for the corner. QLT. Well, he was almost underneath it. In the end, I think Craig Hall may have run it out of play.
Did goal line drop out.
Yeah.
Barrow fighting right till the end of this game. As a proud team that they are.
Damage limitation from Craig Hall there. He knew it would be a drop out under the sticks, but it just bounced awkwardly in goal there.
Craig, let's go.
Let's go, Craig, says the referee. He does so.
That's a big
Up
kick.
over halfway. Picked up quickly by Luke Cresswell, going for a run. Shrugs off Penkovic, and then a high tackle will give a penalty for the Raiders.
High tackle on time. Through it, careful, mate. That's time. That's time.
That is time.
That's time.
Well, we're into stoppage time. Have another look at this tackle off by Penkovic and then Fui Moi Moi. But it was high according to the referee. Kicked out of play, and that'll do it. Full time at Lamport Stadium. It has been another command performance by the Toronto Wolfpack. Craig Hall has led Toronto to another convincing victory over the previously unbeaten Raiders, and you can't really contest a scoreline that reads 70-2 in favour of the Wolfpack, Brian Noble.
Well, the mountain was too high to climb in the end for Barrow. Started the game really, really well, and just the quality and speed and physicality of this Wolfpack team and their ability to defend their line as well. It was a tough afternoon for the Barrow Raiders, but they fought with pride right to the death there, and we're looking for opportunities, and we'll learn from this for sure.
Toronto Wolfpack will be back in town in a fortnight's time, Saturday, June the 3rd, 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 in Great Britain. Toronto Wolfpack against the Coventry Bears, and the following Saturday in South Wales to face the Iron Men. There is your man of the match, the star of the show, QLT, a hat-trick for the New Zealand-born fullback. He really caught the eye today on his home debut for the Wolfpack. His 3 tries, well, there were 12 in all for the Wolfpack. A thoroughly satisfactory afternoon for the Toronto Wolfpack, who improved to 8-0 and a first loss of the league season for the Barrow Raiders, who found that mountain just too high to climb. There'll be plenty of smiles and celebrations, I'm sure, in the home dressing room. Final thoughts, Brian, before we...
Full credit to Barrow with the difficulties with some players missing, but full credit also to the Wolfpack, because you have to stay focused on the job at hand, and there was still a very good team in front of them. And it's really important that we know there's going to be a big clash at the end of this season where they play Barrow again, and they'll have all their troops on deck, and then we'll probably see their true measure. But certainly a great performance from this Wolfpack team today.
It's 8 of the best for the Toronto Wolfpack. 8 games played, 8 games won, 16 points and 12 tries today. A hat-trick for QLT. Another comprehensive victory for the Toronto Wolfpack over the Barrow Raiders by 70 points to 2. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back in just a week's time with more from the Kingstone Press League One and the Toronto Wolfpack. 70 points to 2 over the Barrow Raiders.
Oliver Wiltshire say penalties. That's the least of that.